fourth graders. So today's math lesson is really just kind of a review and like continuing to build up on what we did last week on lesson 8.5 and a little bit from 8.4, where we take what we know about angles and then we use what we know about adding and subtracting to find unknown totals. So the first part of our lesson of our review kind of today is to add angles to find unknowns. So when we have angles like the skis here or our bridge here, we want to think about what we know of angles already. So we know a straight angle or a straight line is 180 degrees. We know that a right angle is 90 degrees. So we really want to make sure that we keep those measures in our mind as we continue with these problems. So looking at number 1, it says the ski jumper shown makes angles with her skis as shown. So it looks like she's got, skis are straight planks that you strap to your feet. So we want to know what the sum of the angles that she makes with her body is. So we take 155 and we add that with, we take 55 and we add that with 125. And we should get 180 degrees because our skis are straight angles. So if we double check our math over here, plus 55, we should get 180. So we get 180 degrees. And we can double check that because we know that this is a straight angle and straight angles are always 180 degrees. Number 2, in the roof framework shown, angle ABD and angle DBC have the same measures. So let's look at what angle ABD and angle DBC. So ABD is this one and DBC is this one. They have the same angle measure. So if we stop right there and we look at angle DBC, they give us that it's 60 degrees. So we can just draw a little arrow to show that that also equals 60 degrees. We know that. What is the angle measure of angle DBA? I'm going to change my color here. They said DBA. Now they tried to confuse us and switch the order of the letter, but remember the letter order doesn't matter. When we use the same letters in a different order, it's still the same angle. So angle DBA is the same as angle ABD. So it's 60 degrees. That's our angle measure. Okay. And then it wants to know what the angle measure of ABC is. So I'm going to erase all of this here. And we're going to look at ABC. Well, if we know that we have two 60-degree angles and we want to find this whole measure, we're going to add up 60 degrees plus 60 degrees. And we should get 120 degrees. And then we can check it by looking at this angle. And 120 degrees is an obtuse angle. And this looks like an obtuse angle to me. So I think we're good on that. Number 3, in the simple bridge structure shown, the measure of angle RSV is 30 degrees and angle VST is a right angle. So R is here. Oh, I'm going the wrong way. R, S, we go up to S, and then we go down to V. That is 30 degrees. So we'll put a 30 up here. Okay. And then angle VST is a 90-degree angle. So we put that little note there. It wants to know what the angle measure of angle RST is. So change my color here. We'll go blue. RST. So again, just like this one here, we want this whole bigger angle. So we're going to take what we know about each of those angles and add them together, where we get 30 degrees plus 90 degrees, because a right angle always equals 90 degrees, equals x, and x equals 120 degrees. So just making sure that whenever we're taking the measure of a larger angle, we look at the angles that are inside, and whatever those measures are, then we add them together to find that whole larger angle. All right. Number 4 and 5 use this circle. So it says the circle at the right represents all of the students in a class. Each section represents the students in the class who chose a certain type of animal as their favorite type of pet. The angle measures for some sections are given. So it wants to know what the sum of the angle measures for cat, dog, and horse is. So we know cat, dog, and horse. We have 85, 150, and 60. So sum, the word sum tells us to add. So we're going to add those 3 angle measures, and we know them. So there's nothing tricky about it. So we're going to take 85, we'll even do them in order. 85 degrees plus 150 degrees plus 60 degrees equals x. And x should equal 295 degrees. So all 3 of these in this reflex angle, remember a reflex angle is larger than 180 degrees, but smaller than 360. So in this reflex angle, all of those angles added together are 295 degrees. Then it wants to know what the total measure of a circle is. So a circle is always 360 degrees. So all the way around from here, all the way around to here is 360 degrees. Wants to know what the angle measure for fish is. We don't know this one. So we're going to take our total of 360 and we're going to subtract it with this reflex angle because we know it. We did it up in number 4. So we're going to subtract it with 295 and we should get 65 degrees. Now, if we wanted to do each of the steps in our equation, we can take 360 degrees and subtract it from the equation that we used in number 4. 85 degrees plus 150 degrees plus 60 degrees. And that should give us the same answer if our math is correct. Okay, so that's it for adding angles. And now we're going to go into subtracting angle measures. So again, using what we know about different angle measures and knowing that a straight angle is 180 degrees, a right angle is 90 degrees, it's important to continue to remember. So number 6 says, in the roof framework shown, the measure of one angle is 80 degrees. What is the measure? What is the unknown angle measure? So we take this 80 degrees and we know that this straight angle is 180 degrees. So we can even write that here. So when we have a total and part of the total, we're going to subtract to find this missing part. So we'll take 180 degrees and subtract it from 80. X equals 100 degrees. Number 7, the railing on a stairway makes a 50-degree angle with the upright post. What is the unknown angle measure in the diagram? So we've got our post here, okay, and here's our railing, okay. So we know that this one is 50 degrees, and we want to know what this one is. So we take our total of 180 degrees with our straight angle. It's messy. And we subtract 50 from 180 degrees to get that obtuse angle here. So we'll say 180 degrees minus 50 degrees equals x, and x equals 130 degrees. And then again, checking, this is an obtuse angle, and so is this, so we should be okay, as long as our math is correct. Now, in number 8, when different items are poured, they form a pile in the shape of a cone. The diagram shows a pile of sand. What is the angle the sand makes with the ground? So we have our pile of sand here that's formed a triangle, okay? And we know that the ground is a straight angle, it's 180 degrees. This angle that we know here is 146. So to find this smaller unknown angle, we're going to subtract 146 from 180. 180 degrees minus 146 degrees equals x, and x equals 34 degrees. Now, number 9 requires 2 steps. So instead of just like on this one where there's 2 angles to make the 180 degrees, there's 3 angles to make 180 degrees. So in the miniature golf game, a player hits a ball against the wall at an angle with measure of 35 degrees. So that's this one here. The ball bounces off at an angle of 20 degrees. So we want to know what this missing angle here is. So if we start with 180 degrees, because the wall is our straight angle, and we have 2 parts of our total, 2 parts that we know, we're going to add those 2 together. So in one equation, we would do 180 degrees minus 35 plus 20 in parentheses, because that's going to tell us to do that first, equals x, and that's our unknown. So 35 plus 20, we'll take our notes down here. So we should do 180 degrees minus 55 degrees. And put it down here. X equals 125 degrees. And again, double checking, this is an obtuse angle, and so is this, so we should be good as long as our math is correct. All right, now number 10, they switch it up on us. They give us a total, and we have to infer what one of the angle measures is. Now it's kind of hard to see on my picture here, but in your book, it'll be easier for you to see. You just have to look closely at one of those angle measures. So number 10 says, in a reclining chair, you can push back from an upright position to sit at an angle. In the chair shown, the whole angle between the back of the chair and the seat of the chair is 130 degrees. So let's do from here to here, this whole angle is 130 degrees. Now, they want us to find the unknown angle of the measure by how much the chair is reclined from upright. So if we look closely, there is this dotted line here, and they give us a hint. So from upright at 90 degrees to backwards is where we want to find this small acute angle. We know that upright, because they tell us upright is 90 degrees. So we're going to take our total of 130 degrees and subtract 90 degrees from it, because that's upright. And if we do our subtraction correctly, we should get 40 degrees. So this smaller unknown angle is 40 degrees. So again, just looking to build on our understanding of subtracting and maybe even adding a little bit in here to build on what we've already learned with creating equations to find unknowns, and then adding in what we've learned so far about angles. So it's really just putting those two concepts together and making sure that we're able to understand all of those things all together. So if you need any help, let me know, or I would recommend looking and reviewing our math videos from last week, especially the 8.5 video from Thursday. That should help you a little bit in there. But otherwise, let me know how I can help and how I can support you. I'll see you soon.